Hey guys, this is KSP Dogfights, and today you join me on the runway for a KSP Dogfight video. A little not really series I'm going to be doing, just probably a few videos about kind of the sort of dogfights from like various wars, and I thought it would be smart to start with World War I, since that was the first war in which dogfights took place, I guess, unless you include like Chinese balloon wars, but whatever, that's we're probably not going to do them. But yeah, so I'm going to start off just with a one-on-one dogfight with this RAF fighter of some kind versus this Luftwaffe fighter. They're not really based on actual fighters, they're just thrown together. This one's pretty much the same as this one, it's just a little thicker. And slightly different wings and not very well set up because he has a thing in his head, because I designed this before I knew about this part. But yeah, so both of these have 250 caliber turrets, which is, well, 50 caliber machine guns, not turrets, and which is pretty unrealistic for World War II. It will be probably more like 30 caliber. I know the Austin Osprey had some 303s, which was a British fighter. I don't know a ton about World War I fighters though, so my future videos on things like F-16s will probably be more interesting because I know more about them. But yeah, so I'm going to start off with a one-on-one, and then I have a little scenario where I'll be attacking this against multiple fighters with multiple fighters, and it'll be pretty cool, but I thought it might just be smart to start with this. So I think this is already all set up, if I am not mistaken. It is indeed. So yeah, I'm just going to switch to, well, I'm going to fire up my engine first and switch to Team B. So throttle up and hit at the same time. Oh shit, I left the brakes on. I'm good at this. Oh, he did the same thing. Alright, let's take off and select my Brownings. I'll pull this way so we both have a little time. But yeah, I should really lock the camera for this. Locked, yeah, because then I don't have to keep moving the camera. It makes it a little easier. I was going to use the HOTAS for this, but I'm surprisingly terrible with the HOTAS. You'd think a joystick would make this easier, but it doesn't. Also, I'm terrible at fighting while talking, so that's going to be quite difficult. I might actually do the scenario and post commentary just because I'm so bad, and the odds are kind of stacked against me anyway, so... Yeah, anyway, am I behind him or in front of him? Has he turned around yet? It looks like he's still going the other way, so I'm still going to be able to get behind him. Because in a dogfight, you really want to be behind your enemy, because then you can... Oh, I'm not behind him! Okay! Just do big circles, that's how I avoid things. Is my... Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. I haven't set the right bullet, the right keys for shooting. Okay. Yeah, there we go. Okay, that'll probably hurt me quite a lot, but that's fine. But yeah, you want to be behind your enemy so you can shoot them in the back and they can't shoot you. It also means you have longer to shoot them because obviously you're both going to be circling. And yeah, so if I... Ooh, okay, I'm actually usually slightly better from the cockpit. Yeah. Yeah, you'd think a HOTAS would make this easier because... this is probably going to be terrible commentary while I'm fighting. But yeah, you'd think a HOTAS would make this easier because it's what fighters use and you can make incremental inputs. But I find it kind of difficult because I'm just so in tune with using a keyboard for this. I almost got a shot in there. But yeah, World War I had some pretty interesting fighters. It started obviously with fighters without guns on them. The first planes we used mostly for reconnaissance, and then someone pretty quickly figured out maybe we should be shooting at those guys, so that they take their rifles and stuff. And I hear one of the best fighter races in World War II actually got a significant amount of kills with his he got his first 2 kills with a shotgun out of the back of his plane, which was pretty cool. And then eventually, obviously, they put kind of machine guns in the back that a co-pilot would use, and then eventually figured out how to sync up machine gun fire and propeller movement so that when they fired the machine guns out of the front, it wouldn't, destroy the propeller and ruin the plane. Because that's not a super effective way of doing this. Talking of not super effective, it looks like they're having a bit of a joust here, which is exactly not what you want in a dogfight. You want to just stay behind them. Yeah, I am also significantly worse at dogfighting when I am talking, so yeah, that's also probably why I'll put the second bit of this in post-commentary, because, the odds are stacked and things like that, and I need to just be slightly focused, but I'll provide interesting commentary for it. I'm going to do World War II next. I'm probably going to go chronologically. World War II, Korea. Yes, we got a good kill. A good hit at least. Maybe a kill. I think he still has most of his wings. I think I took a wing off, didn't I? Yeah, I got the wings usually seem to be what get hit in this, but he's unstable, he's going to be flipping around like crazy. And I can... Oh, I'm going... There we go! There's some good killage. Yeah, so... I haven't been particularly good at leading my shot, which is what you're supposed to do. Because he squirrels around too much, and I am not the best of pilots. I'm okay. I mean, I just killed a guy with the machine gun, but yeah. Anyway, so that's that. We're going to try and shoot him a little more, because I'm not sure he's fully dead. There we go. I hit him some, but he didn't die. Yeah, these 50 cals are very deadly against the fighter plane, against these like biplanes. You'd have probably more like 30 cal, which is I think basically 9mm ammo, but obviously not like you'd have in a handgun. It'd be a little bigger, a little more powerful. So you've got to penetrate a plane. And then World War II had some really interesting gun setups. Korea was also pretty cool. I mean, they'd have like 6 machine guns on them. And then modern day fighters tend to have just one Gatling gun, which fires a lot of rounds. So, okay, we killed him. He's down. The Luftwaffe has been defeated by the RAF. Anyway, so that's that. But the really cool bit is just about to happen. We're going to do a big scenario. I will see you in a second. Yes, sadly, I lack the ability to talk and dogfight effectively for very long at the same time. Although I'm surprised that I managed to talk and kill the guy in the last bit. But anyway, so we are taking off with our first 2 fighters. This is our scenario. Our plan here is to go and attack the KSC. We need to bomb it, but there are 4 fighters defending it, and this bomber cannot take out those fighters by itself, and it's not going to take them out at all, hopefully. This is its escort fighter. It's an older style fighter. It needs 2 pilots, one to use the gun on the top and one on the back. It obviously doesn't need that, but I thought that might just be interesting. So it's slower because it's heavier and it only has 1 gun. I thought that might just be a little interesting. But these 2 have 2 cannons up front, 1 pilot, are reasonably light. I've just told the other one to... Apparently I haven't told it to follow me. That's surprising. Yeah, oh no, I need to tell it to take off. So, here we go. Take off! This is the BD Armory Wing Command. It allows you to tell your friends to take off and allows them to follow you and do all of that stuff. So you don't really need Burn Together anymore, because this is actually a very good system. So yeah, so we're sending in the first 2 fighters. Our plan here is to take out the enemy fighters. Now they have 4, which is a problem, because we're outnumbered, and I mean, I'm no fighter ace. I can, I'm okay, but yeah. But luckily, 2 of their fighters, the old style ones like my old style one, where it's much heavier and it only has 1 gun, because you got to fire the gun. Clearly they're not very well funded, and they have 2 fighters that are kind of like these, but are slightly less maneuverable and a tiny bit heavier, so we should have some advantage here, and hopefully we'll be able to take them out. If there are any left, that bomber can go in, and it will have an escort fighter, my old style fighter. The bomber also does have its own guns. It has a pair of 7.62mm cannons, maybe it's 7.7. Anyway, yeah, it has 7.7 meter machine guns, which it can defend itself with, but it would have a hard time given that the enemies have 50 calibers. But yes, here we are. You can see that it's swinging around a bit, my wingman. That's because 2 times time accelerator is trying to compensate, and it's not so good at it. But this does work really well. It's much better than Burn Together, because Burn Together just mimics controls. But this is actually somewhat smart. It knows roughly what it's doing. So yeah, which is quite a long flight over there, because we're only able to travel at 100 meters per second, so I will spare you that, even though I did really enjoy flying with a wingman. It's really cool. But here we are, about to go and attack the KSC. There's the 4 fighters down there, ready and primed. I will be releasing my wingman as an AI defense pilot, and when I release him, it turns on the pilot, which is cool. It's the BD Armory has gotten so much better since the collaborative warfare version we're using. It would be so good if we could upgrade it, but not. But that's not going to happen. But luckily you have these videos. Of course, next time will be World War II, and then Korea, and so on. Maybe Vietnam, maybe Operation Desert Storm. Obviously I won't be simulating those missions. Those are just the kind of fighters I'll be using. So yeah, I think that could be really cool. But enough of that. Here we are, ready to take on the enemy. We release our little friend down here, and no, guard mode is already on. Awesome, everything is good. I hit the 3 button, which I've set up a command thing. These fighters are taking off, and we're going to dive upon them and try and take out as many as possible. Hopefully our friend will be able to do this. I've locked the camera. I prefer to fight with a locked camera, because I don't have to keep moving it around. It limits you slightly, but I think overall it's better. Also with the joystick it's much easier, although I'm not using the joystick currently. I find it way easier to fight without one for some reason. But yeah, I start opening fire a little bit. I get a little bit, you know, a little bit haphazard. That's not the right word, but I really want to kill stuff, so I'm firing already. I've targeted the Luftwaffe Fighter 2, which is the weaker one. Those are the older ones. The Luftwaffe Fighter 1s are like ours. Our man is firing down there, but I've selected my target. I break high, and I start opening fire, and you can see I strip off a wing, but but a few seconds after, I get torn apart by the enemy. My wings just ripped apart and the rest of my body, but I keep flying because I know that I can keep distracting a few of the fighters, allowing my wingman to, you know, swoop in and maybe destroy some of them. But I did put some serious damage on that enemy. I can't tell what I did, but I think I stripped off at least one wing, which is really good because it'll make it really difficult to fly for him. Although, unless I stripped off two, then it has hardly any lift. But I can see my wingman down there, and it appears that he has taken down one of the enemies, which is just fantastic. And yeah, there's 3 left. The Luftwaffe Fighter 2 is falling behind hugely because it can't maneuver because it only has one wing. And the other 2 are trying to kill me, but it looks like I'm going to hit the ocean first. But yes, let's go and find our... Oh, and when we find our wingman, he is already being stripped apart. So we are down 2 fighters, which is a shame. We definitely lost this. But yes, this is the one I hit, and you can see I stripped off a wing, which is, you know, bad for it, but it can still fly. So I am going to land this and keep this there, as I land all these planes, and I'm going to come back again with the fighter. And you can see my wingman hits the ground. But we did okay. We took down 1 fighter and wounded another. That's better than nothing. It's not great because we don't really have fighters that good anymore. But yeah, here we are just trying to land this. It's actually not that bad. And the AI mode will definitely not have any problems with it. But it should be more draggy on the right as well, because now it doesn't have any cables on the left. So yeah, we land, and that is all good. So now we'll move on to the second phase of our mission. The odds are stacked against us, because there are 2 and a bit fighters, I'm going to call this, because it's old and it's not particularly wing covered in. But yes, anyway, let us move on to the next phase. So yes, here we are at the island, although day is turning to night, and these are surely not night fighters, since this is World War I. I think most fighting probably took place in the day. I guess you'd only be able to put huge floodlights on your plane, which might make you look a little obvious in the night sky. But yes, so this is our bomber, which will be leading, since I need to drop the bombs, and the escort fighter needs to do the shooting. So I'm going to move up alongside it, and we're going to take off. So the plan is, well, the plan was, I was going to take out the fighters, and if there was maybe one left, I'd send that other plane in, and then I'll drop some bombs when it was totally clear. But that's not going to happen, so I'm going to send these both in. The fighter is going to distract them while I unload my bombs onto the KSC, and then this, using its couple of little cannons, will join the fight. Well, little machine guns, not really cannons. So I'm going to set this up so that it'll quickly be able to be switched to a fighter aircraft so it can go and fight. And we will drop our bombs for glory. For the Aria. For Britain. For Blighty. For the Queen. For Churchill. Nope. Nope. This is World War I. Oh, Churchill, you sucked after the war. Apparently he did. Apparently Churchill after World War II really wasn't a great leader. But maybe wartime leaders and peacetime leaders have very different jobs. Anyway, so he has taken off. I'll make him follow me when he finally gains altitude. They get up to altitude, then they follow you. I am a little slower than him for some reason. I think it's probably the huge bomb payload. I have 6 100-pound bombs and 1 250-pound bomb, which they're reasonable. But if you know what a Mark 82 bomb is, that's a 500-pound bomb. So yeah. But anyway, let's head on over here. Yeah, it is a bit of a shame I don't know a ton about World War I fighters. I know a little more about World War II and modern fighters. I know quite a lot about. I am a bit of an enthusiast. But, you know, other than Osprey and... oh, and I do know about the... the RAF fighter falls a little behind us, but he does catch up. Yes, but anyway, catch up here. But anyway, one of the big advances in fighting fighting in World War I was actually aerodynamics. The Germans came up with this really great fighter, which was actually shaped apparently based on a fish, because that's actually quite an aerodynamic shape, and that actually made the Germans pretty much to have total air superiority, because it was so much more aerodynamic. It was faster, it could turn better, and I'm pretty sure no, it was a biplane. So, is it not? Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a biplane, and I've forgotten the name of it, because, you know, I'm terrible with names of World War I stuff. But yeah, that made it pretty much impossible to beat until instead of following suit, the British just you know, improved their engine technology, so they had a much more powerful plane, and they actually managed to gain back control. But for a few years there, it was looking pretty risky. But even the late kind of World War I planes from the British weren't particularly aerodynamic. They were just force, and we won. Take that, Germany. Just gonna have a quick sip of water, actually. My mouth is surprisingly dry. Anyway, we are coming into range. We have our bombs armed. And when we get to 5 kilometers, I will release my friend there to go and take care of these rebel scum. They're not really rebel scum, they're the Luftwaffe, Peter. Yeah. So, yeah, we'll get ready to release it. I think it should all be good. I might check, I've kind of forgotten. And then I'm going to drop all of my bombs and join the fight. I'm not sure how well this will... This is made more for carrying bombs, and it's quite heavy and has terrible guns. So it might not be great in a dogfight, but we'll try. So yes, ideally I would like to take out all the fighters as well. But it's not looking good. Anyway, so our friend is away. We dropped 3 bombs onto the tracking station, and then 3 more 100-pound bombs and the 250-pound bomb onto the science center. Now we're going to join the fight, but I will make sure I get a shot of where the bombs fall, because, you know, if I'm dropping bombs on kind of a superfluous target, it's at least nice to see where they fall. So I think I have the best chance of taking out... Oh, a few missed the tracking station, but then we hit multiple buildings, which is great. Anyway, so Luftwaffe Fighter 2, wounded and definitely the worst of their fighters. So I think I have a chance of taking this down while our friend goes and fends off from the enemy. We are taking some fire, but it's not even slightly accurate. Yeah, these guns sound kind of dumb, and they're weirdly spaced. So we're gonna have a problem. I think they're actually pointing outward. So, I mean, the words "I'm fucked" comes to mind. But luckily, this is so badly damaged, the enemy plane, that the AI pilot can't handle it. It was running from me, and because there was an incline, it couldn't deal with it. So I actually did force it into that cliff, and me damaging it before means I totally got that kill. But anyway, yeah, the reason I keep pausing is I need to grab targets, and I can't do it while they're moving. But we take a bunch of fire, and the bomber is wounded, but it's still flying, and I might be able to keep going. The RAF fighter has taken 1 away, but my guns have come off, which is a serious problem. So I put this on the pilot mode, AI pilot mode, and then I switch to this. I'm going to let it fly its way out of danger, and then I'm going to take over this, because this is an actual fighter, and it's probably much better than the RAF one, which is currently gunless and wingless, which dies quite quickly. But it will. It did well. It forced the other plane into the mountain, and it bombed the freaking KSC. And yeah, it's actually doing pretty well of avoiding, but you see the explosions come out of the back of it, and that will be its death now. So yes, here we go. I'll turn guard mode off. Turn it on apparently. No, I want it off so that I can fire upon my enemies. There are only 2 of them, and I've got a pretty good line of this one, since it's shooting the enemy. Shooting my friend. Don't get those 2 confused, unless they're frenemies. So yeah, I'm just gonna try and get my guns on target and hope like hell that the other fighter won't, you know, tear me apart. But if I see gunfire, I will split and roll, and there it is. It's coming from behind me. It appears to... I thought I had my 6, but it's actually way at the side. So, yeah, this is really precarious. I have no idea how you fight 2 fighters at once, because I can never keep my my eyes on the game. But anyway, so I'm switching between cockpit and normal view, because I find it much easier to aim and shoot from a cockpit, because there's no plane in the way, like that my plane isn't in the way. But I find it much easier to find a target not in there, because I don't have a nav ball in here. I also have a radar warning receiver up here, but we haven't invented radar yet, so I mean, good job, I guess. But I also don't have a radar attached. Anyway, I take some fire and split right to try and avoid it, and it looks like I am avoiding it actually. It's fairly sporadic, which is good. Yeah, just ducking and rolling, trying to stay the hell away from that fire, and hopefully the other plane will be scared enough to run off, and I'm going to confront my attacker, because he clearly has position on me. And yes, here he is, so I'm going to go try and get behind him and put some bullets in his ass. Just put him anywhere, really, probably his wings. But up the jacksie. So just opening fire. I'm not doing a particularly good job of leading him, because I'm a little panicked by the amount of fighters, and then I do appear to hit him but not get a kill. There's a little blast of smoke, but he almost goes straight. I was hoping to, you know, kill him, but I've just really got to pull around, stay behind him. But I am staying behind him reasonably well, except the occasional time when I seize up and oh no, it's usually when I am deciding whether to yaw or roll and pull. But yeah, anyway, we do get a wing, and then very quickly after that, okay, fuck, I kind of ruined it, but I do kill him. I thought I killed him more quickly after that, but he's down a wing. He won't be able to maneuver. He may even crash into the ground, but I doubt it, because I'm not pushing him towards anything. I think the hill is what killed that other one. But yeah, I'm just going to keep firing upon him. The other one is 2 kilometers out, so I have at least 20 seconds. And then we take out another one, which makes him more stable, but not particularly... it doesn't have enough lift to really stay in this fight, so then I'm just circling up above him, just laying down lead. I'm just opening fire like hell. Firing upside down awesomely, and then the explosion, we fly through the debris, and now it is 1-on-1. Yes, that is 2 down, which is great. So it's just me versus the Luftwaffe fighter. This could still go horribly. I mean, it's it has superiority in terms of maneuverability and gunfire, but yeah, I don't know. I hopefully I'll be able to take him down. Let's see. So it's yeah, it's just a matter of trying to stay behind him like hell, because if he gets behind me, he's going to be able to shred me twice as quickly as I can shred him. Although 50 calibers do seem to slice through these biplanes, because obviously they're not really meant to be fired at biplanes. They're more World War II. You'd have maybe 50 cals on some of your planes there, but it would most likely be 303s and 30 calibers in World War I, because, well, I mean, it was much lighter and you didn't need a 50 caliber. I'm not even sure when the 50 caliber machine gun became really a mainstay in war. I'm not sure if they had them on the ground in World War I, because I mean I doubt they would, because it was kind of when machine guns had just started coming around. You know, you'd have these big mounted heavy machine guns on trenches, and we didn't get as many as the Germans did. They had one for pretty much every squadron, and we had one for every few squadrons. And yeah, and their trenches were much nicer. But it was, oh no, it was in France, wasn't it? I was going to say it was in Germany. Poor France. Poor France, just giving a fuck. Anyway, I'm trying to lay down a lot of fire, but I'm having a lot of trouble. Often it is quite hard to get your shot on target, and it helps to have 2 guns or a Vulcan cannon. That's what modern fighters use, if I haven't mentioned. Because, I mean, we're using machine guns right now, but a Vulcan cannon, or just a Gatling gun in general, fires a lot more rounds. So an F-22 just has one you know, Gatling gun, whereas, you know, fighters in Korea would have 6 machine guns. And I will be doing a video on the Korean War fighters after World War II, and those will be more informative about the fighters. Other than that piece of information about the German fish fighter, I don't really know a ton, so I am a bit sorry for that. But yeah, anyway, so I am having such trouble getting this because it just keeps out-turning me. So I am going to cut out a little bit of this until we get to here, because it did take me quite a long time, and that was basically the same maneuver where I try and wait for it to pull out and then get a few shots in, but it just wasn't working. But then, mistakenly, he goes rather straight, and I seem to be able to get behind him rather well, and I start just unloading rounds, and we see something explode, and that is a wing. Yes, we finally got our hit on after, there was a couple of minutes I cut out, but it feels a lot longer when you're in a dogfight. But yeah, he's pretty seriously wounded, and I think I can take him down now. He won't be able to outturn me, and that was his advantage. But when they fly straight, you see I killed him, like with the other guy, you know, he flew straight, and I killed him while upside down. It was an inverted attack maneuver or something like that. But yeah, I just keep firing, but I am still having trouble getting my shot on, because, you know, flying a plane is quite a hard way to aim a gun, especially when you've had no flight training. Have I? No. I was just thinking maybe I have had some at some point, but I haven't. Why would I have? Anyway, we're right behind him, and we get a few more shots on. The fuselage goes to hell, takes out his tailplane, and he loses control. He just has no stability now, and he's tumbling towards the ground, and I try to get a few shots in on a high-speed pass, but I move. But we do see him slam into the ground, and that is that. We've won. I totally didn't think that was going to happen, but I have been practicing quite a bit with dogfighting. You know, I'm not great at leading people still, you know, where you kind of turn with them, because, I don't know, they seem to turn more. And I'm just shooting the KSC up a bit now, because, you know, I've bombed it, might as well shoot it up, and then I'm going to go land, plant a flag, and this will be mine. But yeah, so I do have a lot of skills to improve, but, I'll freaking won. I didn't do too terribly on a 2-to-1. I hit someone, and then no, not a 2-to-1. Oh yeah, it was 2-to-1. 2 Germans to 1 me, and then on a 2.5-to-1, I guess. Now I almost crashed it there. But yeah, I'm impressed with myself, and this was really fun. I really like doing this sort of stuff. So yeah, next time, if you enjoy this, I will be doing a World War II one with World War II fighters. Again, they probably won't be massively like, though I might do some Spitfires and some. What are they called? The American ones, the P-41 Buffaloes? I don't know. I lose a bit of wing as well, and on landing. But yeah, and then when I try to brake, I'm on a slope, and I fall forward, rip off the engine, and flip the plane. I just shot down 3 fucking guys, and I crash on landing. But yeah, I get out, and it's cool. The sprite does go, the Kerbal does go away from the cockpit, and I'm going to plant a flag. But yeah, I will figure out what the American one's called. I might also do some tornadoes, maybe a big bomber, because there's big bombers in World War II. That's the problem with World War I, there isn't. And obviously Messerschmitts and Stuckers and things like that. I'll see what I want, and then just victory. But yeah, anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. I'll be coming back for next time. It's not, as I said, not really a series, just a bit of just a few videos I'll probably do. It probably should be like 5 or 6 or something. So yeah. Anyway, I hope I've said this like a gajillion times, but I hope you've enjoyed this. This has been KSP with Tape. I will see you next time.